City Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Abraham, Commissioner Holland,
Here.
Commissioner Rhodes,
Here.
Commissioner Wilson,
Present.
Mayor Harless.
Here. That just confused me. Okay, Commissioner Holland, will you do an invocation for us, please?
Dear Lord, thank you for bringing us all here today. Please grant us the wisdom to govern fairly, a sense of welfare for all of our citizens, a keen sense of justice and rightness, and confidence in what is good for all of the community. Amen.
Amen. If you'll stay standing, we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance, but we have some guests to lead us in that. I'd like to say thank you to Commissioner Holland and to Sid Hancock. She's going to help bring some students to our meetings from now on to do the pledge with us. And so we have Caroline Kreider, who's a fourth grader at St. Mary Elementary School, and we have John Holtgrew, who's a senior at Paducah Tillman High School. He has lots of accolades, including serving on our own Human Rights Commission. So thank you both for being here, and please lead us in the pledge.
Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you both so much. City Manager, do we have any additions or deletions?
There are none, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Holland, can you read the motion for the minutes, please?
I move that the reading of the minutes for the January 31st, 2017 City Commission meeting be waived and that the minutes of said meeting prepared by the city clerk be approved as written.
Second.
City Clerk?
Commissioner Holland,
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson,
Aye.
Mayor Harless.
Aye. And we have several boards and commission appointments to make tonight, and so I will start by reading the mayor's motion of my choices for those, and then we will have motions made by each commissioner, and then we will vote on those. So the first one is for the Commissioners of Waterworks, and I'm going to read this here. Whereas, subject to the approval of the Board of Commissioners, I hereby reappoint Commissioner Alan Rhodes as an ex officio member of the Commissioners of Waterworks. This term will expire December 31st, 2018. Furthermore, subject to the approval of the Board of Commissioners, I hereby reappoint Eddie Barker as a member of the Commissioners of Waterworks. This term will expire January 6th, 2021.
I move that the Board of Commissioners approve the action of Mayor Harless in reappointing Commissioner Alan Rhodes as an ex officio member and Eddie Barker as a member of the Commissioners of Waterworks.
Second.
City Clerk?
Commissioner Holland,
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson,
Aye.
Mayor Harless.
Aye. And next up is the Electric Plant Board. Whereas, subject to the approval of the Board of Commissioners, I hereby reappoint Adolphus Jones Jr. as a member of the Electric Plant Board. This term will expire February 6th, 2021.
And I have that one. I move that the Board of Commissioners approve an action of Mayor Harless in reappointing Adolphus Jones Jr. as member of the Electric Plant Board.
Second.
City Clerk?
Commissioner Holland,
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson,
Aye.
Mayor Harless.
Aye. Next up is the Paducah Area Transit Authority. Whereas, subject to the approval of the Board of Commissioners, I hereby reappoint Zachary Hossman to the Paducah Area Transit Authority Board. This term will expire June 30th, 2020.
I move that the Board of Commissioners approve the action of Mayor Harless in reappointing Zachary Hossman as a member of the Paducah Area Transit Authority.
Second.
City Clerk?
Commissioner Holland,
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson,
Aye.
Mayor Harless.
Aye. I just realized I didn't ask for discussion on these. Is that supposed to happen? Any discussion? Like we normally do?
good.
Okay. If you have some, let me know. Okay, thanks. Okay, next up is the Paducah-McCracken County Joint Sewer Agency. Whereas, subject to the approval of the Board of Commissioners, I hereby appoint Sarah Seward Holland as a member of the Paducah-McCracken County Joint Sewer Agency to replace Carol Galt, whose term has expired. This term will expire December 31st, 2018. Furthermore, subject to the approval of the Board of Commissions, I hereby appoint Susan Phelps Carr as a member of the Paducah-McCracken County Joint Sewer Agency to replace Jim Smart, who has resigned. This term will expire June 30th, 2018.
And I have that one. I move that the Board of Commissioners approve an action of Mayor Harless in appointing Sarah Stewart Holland and Susan Phelps Carr as members of the Paducah-McCracken County Joint Sewer Agency.
Second.
City Clerk?
Any discussion?
Any discussion? City
Well,
Clerk?
I have one. So you know what this means, Sarah Stewart Holland, is it, because I'm on the water board, so when anybody complains about water in Paducah, I get that call. So now you know what you're going to get the
I
complaints
thought you meant it
on.
was a lifetime of sewer jokes coming my way.
Hey,
Well-
which sounds fun,
That too.
actually.
I guess.
Great, are we done with discussion? Thanks.
I
City
just couldn't
Clerk?
resist.
Commissioner Rhodes?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Harless?
Aye. All right, last but not least, it is least tonight, but not, wait, it's last tonight. Paducah Riverfront Development Authority Board. As you guys know, this is a new board that we've just, or not a new board, but we just brought that back into city planning. Whereas, subject to the approval of the Board of Commissioners, I hereby appoint Jonathan Perkins, Jr., Bruce Brockenborough, George Cirque, Edward Musselman, Carla Berry, and Sandra Wilson as members of the Paducah Riverfront Development Authority, or Advisory Board. Term expirations will be staggered in accordance with ordinance as follows. Jonathan Perkins, February 7th, 2019. Bruce Brockenborough and George Cirque, February 7th, 2020. Edward Musselman and Carla Berry, February 7th, 2021. And Sandra Wilson, serving as ex officio member, December 31st, 2018.
I move that the Board of Commissioners approve the action of Mayor Harless in appointing Jonathan Perkins, Bruce Brockenborough, George Cirque, Edward Musselman, Carla Berry, and Sandra Wilson as members of the Paducah Riverfront Development Advisory Board.
Second?
Any discussion? City Clerk?
Commissioner Holland?
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Did I
Excuse
vote on
me?
that?
No. Mayor Harless?
Aye. All right. I do want to say that that was a really interesting process, picking people in our community to be involved in the boards and commissions. So, and there's quite a few applications that come in for these things, by the way. So we always encourage people to apply to be on a board or commission. Commissioner Rhodes, you have the motion to accept the RNF documents.
Indeed, I do. I move that the following documents be received and filed. Notice of cancellation for the Board of Commissioners of the City of Paducah for January 10th, 2017. Certificates of liability insurance, J.C. Cates Construction Company, Incorporated, Central Paving Company of Paducah, Incorporated, J-Ton Construction Company, Incorporated, deed with Kenneth W. Knight for 151 Clemens Street, deed of conveyance with Enoch Chapel Cumberland Presbyterian Church in America for properties located at 904 and 900 North 10th Street, contracts and agreements, agreement with Kentucky Department of Housing, Buildings, and Construction for enforcement responsibilities within the boundaries of the city and state, contract with Municipal Code Corporation for codification of the City of Paducah Code of Ordinances, City of Paducah Fleet Maintenance Service Agreement with Concord Fire Protection District, the City of Paducah financial reporting for period ending November 30th, 2016.
Second.
Any discussion? City Clerk?
Commissioner Holland?
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Harless?
Aye. All right, we have two municipal orders on docket tonight. The first one is the certified local government grant application. And Commissioner Wilson, you have that?
I move that a municipal order entitled, "A Municipal Order Authorizing the Application for a Matching Grant in the Amount of $6,219.84 through the Kentucky Heritage Council State Historic Preservation Office and National Park Service for a Certified Local Government Program Grant for Professional Development and Training required for the Historic and Architectural Review Commission be adopted."
I need a second.
Second.
Be happy to answer any questions if you have some.
Thanks for trying to get the money. It's great. We need it.
Thank you very much, Steve. Oh, you're going to stay up here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Commissioner Holland, you have, sorry.
May I call the roll, please?
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Holland?
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Harless?
Aye. Not going to move on.
Yes.
Commissioner Holland, you have the motion for the next item.
I move that a municipal order entitled, "A Municipal Order Authorizing the Mayor to Execute a Grant Application and All Documents Necessary for a Fiscal Year 2017 Kentucky Office of Homeland Security Grant in the amount of $104,500 for the replacement or upgrade of portable and/or mobile radios for the Paducah Fire Department be adopted."
Second.
This year, it's the first year of a process of upgrading our radios for the 911.
Great. Is
Good
this the
luck
first time
when
we've
you-
gone after this specific grant?
No.
Oh, it's not the first time?
No.
Okay, great. All right.
Thank you.
City Clerk?
Commissioner Holland,
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson,
Aye.
Mayor Harless.
Aye. Okay, we have an introduction of an ordinance. Commissioner Holland?
I move that the Board of Commissioners introduce an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance and Amending Chapter 98, Article 8, Artist Setup Area of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Paducah, Kentucky." This ordinance is summarized as follows. This ordinance amends Chapter 98, Article 8, Artist Setup Area of the Code of Ordinance of the City of Paducah, Kentucky, which regulates permits issued to local artists for the demonstration and sale of their original work of art in those areas of the City of Paducah defined as the Gazebo Artist Setup Area or the Texaco Station Artist Setup Area.
Great.
Good evening, I'm going to
Need
present
a
a
second.
Please. Okay.
Second.
Oh, second.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, I've been, of course, this is in downtown, part of Main Street, so I've been working with the artists to do the art à la carte. So this artist setup area, amending this ordinance, is going to move the administration of this program under the planning department. Over the last 2 years, the original structure of the original ordinance, this program has not been operating as it was originally designed to. So by having the administration process move into the planning department, it will enable us to manage the program, know who the artists are that are actually set up down there, and then perhaps maybe give us an opportunity to grow the program as well.
What's the current process?
They're supposed to be doing an application and a permit, and Jim is supposed to be getting those to them and then getting them to me. He has a full-time job, so that's difficult. So we just felt like the administration of having them come to us now for a guest permit or for a regular permit. They come to the planning office first, get that paperwork done, and then they can go set up.
So there wasn't really a committee, there's just one person?
Right, right.
So the change doesn't really impact the artist at all, other than they have to come here to get an application? Okay. Doesn't change it?
Right.
And there's probably the possibility that you would have a better understanding of who's down there to promote during the mainstream events, right?
Correct, correct. And promote the program in general, too. So I would love to be able to help with that.
And so I'm assuming we're going to put this application online, so we don't literally mean people have to walk themselves in the doors to pick up the application. Right.
They're actually going to have to display the permit on the carts or the
Right.
tables.
But the application part
But the application, yes.
can be online, they can download
do
it, they can send
online.
it in. Okay,
Yep.
good, okay.
Yep.
Great.
So is it safe to say we want to expand the program beyond à la carte?
Yeah, we could. Actually, within the ordinance, you can see they're not required to have an art à la carte to set up. There's some requirements as far as table size and things. So yeah, we could definitely do that.
Okay, sounds great.
Do we discuss before we vote or after?
You're not going to vote tonight.
Oh, that's right, we're not voting. You guys can tell I'm still new. Well, I do want to say, though, that the Art à la carte program has been a really important part of getting art into our downtown area. And Jeff Spicer was here and got that started, and Jim gracefully and gratefully took it over when Jeff left town. And I just want to make sure that we all acknowledge how important that program is. And so hopefully we're taking the burden off of someone's back. And so, like you said, your focus is downtown, and you can continue to do that. So
And it adds so much to our street life.
it does,
I
absolutely.
love having it down there. So.
Yes. Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Thank you, Jim.
Yes. Okay, city manager, you have a report?
Oh, I have a couple of things. The bid opening for the Noble Park Pond bank stabilization Phase 2 is tomorrow. We're expecting a number of bids and hopeful that we're going to come in within budget and get that project finished. I think it's fair to say that's probably been one of the most well-received projects the city has done in the first phase there. So there's been, I think, a lot of anticipation for us finishing that. Negotiations with collective bargaining with both the police and fire unions have been ongoing for several weeks. We are reaching a conclusion and expect to have something before you in the next meeting or two. That's been very productive and following, I think, a pretty good timeline. Thank you for your time last week in working to identify criteria to rate capital improvement projects by. We are beginning to move into the active part of the budget preparation process, and I think our pre-budget workshop this year will focus on capital improvement projects much as it did last year. A couple of very important ones that are infrastructure related that were identified last year are still out there. Clearly, the equipment upgrade in the 911 center is one that we need to work on and figure out a timeline and a strategy to pursue that. Our consultant and staff there are working very hard to identify the options and cost projections, and hopefully we'll come together on at least a starting point for that in the budget process, so we can start making those very vital improvements over there. City Hall project, Mayor Harless and I have had a brief discussion about that, and we'll have to bring this forward and talk about a strategy to address some of the deficiencies in the building in a phase one. We're looking at the financial options for that and what we might be able to do within our existing means, at least for a first phase. The tricky part of that, of course, is what to put in that package. Clearly, the roof and the overhang remain emergent needs. We have recently become aware of some failures in our HVAC system, and that, of course, raises the question there in an old system, whether you put money into an old system to prolong it for a while, or you look at a new system. But then there's so much connectivity between the components when you're talking about a building, so it's a little tricky to know where to draw the line in a phased approach. So we'll have some fun with that, but we'll bring some thoughts and ideas forward on that probably during the pre-budget workshop as well. Excuse me. Tomorrow evening, Michelle Smolin and I will be attending the League of Cities legislative reception in Frankfurt, and that's on our way to Lexington, where the Kentucky City Management Association meeting will be being conducted on Thursday and Friday, so we'll be out those days. And I think that's all I have.
Great, thank you. Mayor, I'm the mayor. It says mayor and commissioner comments. Commissioner comments, anyone?
I'd like to say something. Over the last really 24 hours, I've been engaged in a lot of citizen involvement in our city. There was a letter to the editor in the paper with citizen concerns. There was a really great chamber meeting where there were citizens being briefed on going to Frankfurt to lobby on behalf of our committee. There is a group gathered in Dolly McNutt Plaza right now, standing in solidarity with some concerns about our city and state. And then there's this great list of citizens that we just approved to serve on boards of commissions. And I think it's important to say that there are so many avenues of citizen engagement, different groups, different avenues, and different opinions on what is the best way for our city to move forward. But I think overall it's so exciting to see that level of engagement in our city, and I think Paducah will thrive and succeed the more citizens get involved and in any way that they choose to get involved, and I'm just happy to see that.
Great, I concur. Do we have any public comments tonight? Anyone? Anyone fill out a piece of paper? All right. Did we decide we're going to do a motion to adjourn? I forgot.
You were just going to say meeting is adjourned.
Great. I'm going to say what she said. Meeting is adjourned.